And Dave Maness down there to kick off tonight's program.
Well, good evening, race fans. Are you ready to go racing tonight? Well, we're ready to go. We've got Clarence Dupnick, the sheriff of Pima County, here with us, and the Carlsons and Dave Maness will be talking to you in just a moment, and we'll be getting the show on the way here. Oh, look at that. We've got a whole, there's thousands of balloons going to be put up during our national anthem. And we've got some special gifts and prizes for all you kids at intermission time. So Dave Maness, take it away. Let's give Dave Maness a good hand, folks, for a good job that he's done out here. A great job. And Linda Maness. There you go, Dave.
Thank you, Jack. Hello, everybody. You ready to have a good time? You betcha. You see what's coming down here? We got a real special occasion tonight. We all know about it. We've all talked about it many, many times. It's real proud for Linda and I, all the people, the employees of this facility, to have the first annual Vicki Lynne Memorial and to be benefiting we the people, which is all the kids up there in the stands and all the parents and all of you. We got some pretty nice things here we'd like to talk to you about for a while. We're right on time. We'll start at 8 o'clock like we always do. I do want to tell you, first of all, there's two tables set up out in front that have a whole bunch of very, very nice prizes on them. We have a Phantom Warrior battle game donated by Pepsi-Cola. We have a Coca-Cola clock by Coke. We have a beach chair from Pepsi. We have a Budweiser mirror clock that is beautiful from Budweiser. A pound, Debbie, help. No, this one. Pound Purry's Performance Specialist. Pound Puppy Dog or something. Anyways, okay. Got a VCR video recorder, 14-day recorder from Pepsi-Cola. We got an ice chest from 7-Up. We got a golf bag from Michelob. Folding table from Pepsi. Got a scooter from Blue Circle Corporation. And we have a gold putter from Budweiser. These things will be auctioned at intermission to the highest bidder right out here in the front straightaway. So be thinking about that. Look at the prizes. A 12-speed bike also donated by Pepsi-Cola, which we're very thankful for. Debbie has worked her heart out this week getting involved in this project. My wife has worked very hard at it, and I know George has too. But I'd like to go down through the list here, introduce these people to you, and we'll kind of start here, I think, with one lady that's very proud. She's worked very hard on this thing for 2 or 3 years, and we the people, my wife Linda, and I'd like you to start it, and let's go down through the line here.
I just want to let all of you know that it makes me feel good that I can give this family just a little bit of happiness, you know, even if it's a minute, an hour, because it's very deserving of what they went through these past 3 years. And we love them a lot. We've known them for a long time, and we'll never forget Vicki Lynne. And we need to remember all the children, not only here in town, but in the state of Arizona, and what we the people have accomplished. And we can't forget that. You know, our children is our future. Thank you.
Where's Judy? Judy, would you please come down here, Judy? Or I'll go down here. She's the president of We the People. We know she has been very involved in helping, and we're trying to get fundraising here. We've done a real good job. Right now, we've accumulated Raven Raceway. We put up tickets for advance sales. We have $1,600 that is being given to we the People tonight from Raven Raceway and you people. So thank you for that. The raffle is going good. I understand Debbie will tell you about that in a second. We have the raffle tickets out there. Buy them for $1. There's all kinds of neat prizes. We're going to give it all away tonight. So I don't know if you have anything you really want to say. Do you or don't?
Well, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've been incredibly generous to the Carlsons, not just tonight, but for the last 3 years. And I'd like Clarence to do the honor.
Thank you, Judy. On behalf of We the People, I'd like to present to Dave and Linda Manus a plaque to show our expression of gratitude for the tremendous effort that they've made on behalf of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson Memorial and We the People. It says, "We the People of Arizona express its heartfelt thanks to Linda and Dave Manus for your generous help in sponsoring the Vicki Lynne Memorial at Raven Raceway, September 12, 1987. Thank you very much." If I could just say a few words that are on my mind tonight. You know, this is the 3rd anniversary of a very tragic event that occurred about 3 years ago at this time. And I recall very vividly going to Tucson Mall, where several thousand people who had never met each other before gathered kind of spontaneously for a specific purpose. We came, I think, to show our expression of grief and concern for the family of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson, and we also came, I think, to express our outrage at the tragic event that had occurred. Those of us who were there, and I know that many of you were in that crowd, dedicated ourselves to looking at the criminal justice system to see what it was about the system that allowed dangerous people, dangerous animals like Frank Jarvis Atwood and Willie Castaneda to roam our streets and prey on our youngsters. And we dedicated ourselves to form an organization to look at the system, to find out what the weaknesses were, and to take action to find some solutions and do something about it. And so for the last 3 years, We the People has been meeting. It has been doing a variety of things. It's responsible for some very tough legislation with respect to child sexual offenses and kidnapping and so forth. I'd like you people to consider doing something tonight. I'm not going to ask you to do a lot, but if you feel strongly that the criminal justice system needs some shoring up, especially our legal branch of government, in a couple of weeks we're going to have some petitions ready, and we're going to have them out here at Raven Raceway. I know that many of you have never signed a petition in your life, much less have you even thought about passing one. But if you really care about our youngsters, if you really care about the safety of our community, I'd ask you to take one of these petitions and get it filled out. 25 signatures on a piece of paper, 25 registered voters. That's not an awful lot to ask, but it will do a lot. What it will do is put on the ballot a proposition that we call the Victims' Bill of Rights, which will give victims a fair shake in court, and it'll take back some of the power and the discretion that occurs in our legal system and turn the pendulum back to what I think would be a greater protection of our society. I'd like at this time to ask all of you to join in a moment of silence in the memory of Vicki Lynne Hoskinson, and to ask the good Lord to grant his mercy and comfort to two people who are up here today who have endured a trauma and a heartache that no one can imagine. So at this time, I'll ask you to bow your heads and ask for God's blessing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dubnik. I would like to tell you something else, too. I'm going to move over here for a second. Mr. Dubnik is very instrumental in providing some good help for us in getting this racetrack reopened. I think that is a tribute, too, that he believes that racers need a place to race, too, and get them off the streets. And he was involved in the beginning, and he's still involved, so thank you. We got Jack Jacobs here. Jack Jacobs, I did it again. Jack Murphy from the Pima County Fair Commission, and he has an announcement to make. We have a new commissioner on the Fair Commission. Jack, would you like to tell the folks about it?
Yes, good evening, everybody. President Jim Cowan resigned and retired from the commission after approximately 12, 13 years, and the Board of Supervisors asked Mr. Ralph Long if he would sit in on the Fair Commission Board, and Ralph accepted the appointment, and this was confirmed a week ago last Tuesday. And we'd like to welcome Ralph to the Southwest Fair Commission.
I'd like to welcome you to the racetrack, and this is one of our pet projects we've had around here, and boy, there's a lot of people to thank, but we're here more to so tonight for these two ladies and gentlemen down here. Excuse me for walking in front of you here. We also have Duke's Video out here tonight. They have put $500 on the purse and split it up amongst Chargers and late models tonight. They've also donated videotapes, so make sure, plug yourself, tell them where to go.
Well, we hope you all come to Duke's, and we're really glad that the community pulled together for this. Thank you.
And it's very involved in the Vicki Lynne thing, so thank you for coming out with the extra money. The racers will sure appreciate that. Last but far from least, George and Debbie, it's your night. And we want to say thank you from Tucson, all the racers, all the spectators, for making us hold our chins up high, too, for caring and carrying out an awful lot of things that went far beyond the call of duty. And I think from now on here at Raven Raceway, Vicki's sign is over there, as well as you know from the first this year. As long as we're fortunate enough to run this facility, it will always be a Vicki Lynne Memorial here. And every year we'll try and make it a little better and a little more fun. I want to tell you, what a pleasure working with these two people this week. They have had more fun. They've been out here. They've been chasing door prizes, and Debbie's been out here in 2-3 days, and they've been out here helping. And, boy, that's just super neat, and I'd like you all to give them one heck of a loud applause. Debbie has something to say, so if you listen carefully, I think you'll enjoy this.
First, I want to say thanks to all of you for being here for the first annual Vicki Lynne Memorial. I told Dave that I'd probably get a little emotional on him tonight, but I guess that's to be expected. You know, Vicki Lynne touched a lot of us here in this state, and by every one of you being here tonight proves that we're not ever going to forget her. And we're not ever going to forget. We cannot bring Vicki Lynne back, but we sure can do a lot to protect the children that we have with us. And that's what we're doing. You know, physically, Vicki Lynne isn't here. But I like to tell you, her spirit is with us, every single one of us. Right here tonight, right this moment, and will be all night. And I'm sure she's smiling with her big, beautiful smile as she had, as you can see from her pictures, from one ear to the other. So pleased that we are carrying out
her misfortune. You know, I thought about what I was going to say tonight, and what I'd like to tell you, there's a lot that people don't know about Vicki. They know a little girl who came into their life 3 years ago through a terrible tragedy. But I'd like to share a little bit with you about Vicki. And what I'd like to share is she loved people. She loved Bobby socks. She loved Cabbage Patch dolls. She loved strawberry shortcake. She loved racing. The night after she was born, at that time they were racing winter racing, and her grandfather won that race and gave her that trophy, which is now in a footlocker in the attic. And I'm sure she's so proud tonight that this is happening in her honor and in children's honor, because Vicki sacrificed her life for our children who remain with us. What a sacrifice. You know, tonight's a sad night because we're remembering a little girl who lost her life to a criminal who preyed on children since he was 12 years old. She sacrificed her life for our kids. And we're showing these criminals that we can turn a negative tragedy into positive outcomes. And that's proof by everybody here. And I want to thank you again for that. You know, Dave and Linda have dedicated their lives to this. For this last year, I know how hard they've been working. And you know what? I think they deserve a standing ovation for what they've done for us. How about it? Okay. I'd just like to, real quick, before I give the mic back to Dave, as he knows, you give me a mic and I can talk for hours. I don't know when to shut up. I'd just like to tell you a little bit. We are having a raffle tonight. We are selling tickets by the concession stand for $1, and the proceeds do go to We the People. I'd just like to read you off the list of prizes that we will be raffling off at intermission. A fur skin doll donated by Blue Circle, a pair of Hondo Quill Ostrich boots from the Bootery, a complimentary round of golf for 2 at La Paloma, a Cabbage Patch doll from Blue Circle, a Care Bear Love-A-Lot from Blue Circle, a barbecue gas grill from Southwest Gas, a BMX bike from Performance Specialist Machine and Engines, a weekend for 2 at La Paloma, a Pinocchio, Walt Disney Pinocchio video from Duke's Video, a Robin Hood video from Duke's Video, Treasure Island video from Duke's Video, and a limited edition of knockoff hubs from Duke's Video, a quilt from Fradlick Quilts, I believe. I apologize if I have that wrong. Frolic. This lady came up tonight and donated a quilt and 8 cushions. And I want to thank her. She spent a lot of time making that quilt and those 8 cushions. We have 2. They were just dropped off at the table tonight. We have 2 $250 gift certificates from Dynamark Securities Center. And those are the prizes that you can win for only $1. So you have until intermission to purchase your tickets. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, we're right at 8 o'clock. We're getting ready to go. We got one more thing to do, and this lady does it better than anybody. Come on, Carolyn. Everybody stand up. Take your hats off. The balloons, sponsored by Blue Circle and Raven Raceway. We want to thank Blue Circle Corporation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn
How about it? You ready to go racing? You betcha. And we got a heck of a program. We got 2 30-lap main events for the late models. The reason we done it is to give somebody a shot in this town named Carl Trimmer and maybe winning the National Sunbelt Series live right here tonight in front of your eyes. And it'll be the first national champion possibility coming from any racetrack in the state of Arizona. And I'm real proud to be the promoter here to put it on. Let's let these people thank you. Please give all these people a nice round of applause. They're very instrumental in auto racing. They make a difference for what we stand for. We're going to bring them out. We got a lot of things to do. George and them will get the racing going. We'll see you back here in intermission. Get your money ready for the auction. I'm telling you, there's some good stuff.
Well, what a special evening we've got all set for us now, Jack, and what a great sight to see the fireworks and the yellow balloons as in tie a yellow ribbon. Sway. So George Camp has got the green flag in hand, and he's eyeballing them now, beginning with Larry Benedum and Terry Gibson, your up front guys. And who knows, maybe we'll have our first green flag within 5 minutes of the 8 o'clock hour, and son of gun if we don't. We're off and running on a very special Vicki Lynne Memorial Saturday night at Raven Raceway, and Terry Gibson takes the early advantage here in the 94 machine, passing Benedum on the outside in the grandstand area and taking the lead of this one in the early on up by turn number 1. And now, Jack, look at him pull away from Benedum down the back chute back there. And Steve Neff, I'm awfully anxious to see how that little 4 machine, the 6-banger, is going to operate in his heat race coming up a little bit later on.
Terry Gibson took a real early lead in this one, Tom, and like you said, he's starting to pull away from the rest of the pack, so if Neff and the rest of them are going to catch him, they're going to really have to pour it on because he's looking mighty fine right now as he heads through 3 and 4.
Herb Penrod in the 777 car is currently in 3rd place, again in the early on of this one, but Gibson opening it up here in the early on over that guy right there, none other than Larry Benedum over from Wilcox, part of the Double or Nothing race team out of Wilcox. Larry and George Benedum doing their thing in a teammate fashion here in 87. Perry Dufik has brought that number 14 machine up into 4th place now in the early on, once again, of this, your first Charger heat race of the evening. Gibson, well, he's not backing out of that thing at all.
Not a bit. And he's opening up the gap a little more each time he goes around. But look at the battle we've got going on between Dufek and 777, Herb Penrod, for that number 3 position right now.
And Penrod's got him on the outside coming out of turn 2. Now let's see if he can close off any ground on that guy right there, Terry Gibson, who just cranks it up and adds a little bit more in the way of a pad to his lead each time around.
Uh-oh, look out there in turn number 1. A little shaky right there for Dufek as he goes wide but brings it back down toward the inside.
Dale Mulford was being passed up in that 23M machine, the yellow car, by Gibson last lap around. Now look how far apart they are. They are at extremities from one another on this racetrack.
Now, I seen some sparks come out of Gibson's car over there at turn number 1, Tom. I don't know if that was exhaust sparks or if he has something scraping on that machine. We'll check it out this time when he comes around.
Getting a trailing of blue out of the rear of the Flintstone Flyer, Larry Benedum's machine, too. So far, it doesn't look as though it's going to be anything that serious. But it'll be interesting to see because each time around that streamer of blue coming out of turn 4 just seems to get a little bit stronger. Penrod in 777, just ahead of Perry Dufik in 14. That 47 machine is Tom Lanny, and that's currently your top 5. And this one, as the white flag flies, it falls for your leader Terry Gibson, 1 lap away from putting this one in the book, our first NASCAR Charger heat race of the evening. And again, thanks for coming out. We do still have late arrivals, ladies and gentlemen. So if you would be just a little bit more accommodating, help them find a seat in the grandstand area or up on Smiley or Stomper Hill, we're ever so appreciative. Terry Gibson gets the checkered flag as well you would have expected in this one. Almost, but not quite. Running off and hiding from Larry Benedum there in the 141 machine, taking 2nd place.
So as Tom said, whoop, look out there, car number 12. Almost losing it there. As Tom said, if you'd scoot over some folks, because we still have a lot of people heading into the racetrack, or spot a seat for them, some seats over at Stomper Hill toward the front, and there's plenty of room over there, but scoot over just a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob McKinley, so popular they named a bunch of high schools across our country after him on the right. They are our flagman starters. George, I just got to tell you, your videotape turned out sensational. That is just great. One night I think we ought to get Dan Johnson to show it in the booth out here and promote it. Interesting videotapes. Green flag time again, says George Camp. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, off and running on a very memorable Saturday night in September at Raven Raceway. Pamela Feder off of the pole and into the lead in this one with that little Sierra Vista Charger. Oh, I like him a whole bunch. Ray Wilson will be coming up later on in his number 79 Camaro. So anxious to see these guys as they sprinkle it out across the course of this evening. Uh-oh, a little close down there heading into turn 4, but John Banks is able to keep it under control after losing it there just momentarily. Dan Baldwin in that 95 Thunderbird. What a gorgeous looking car that is. But up front, it's Paul Francis with number 84 taking over the lead, taking it away from Pamela Feder, and here he comes out of turn 4 in the lead. Still early on in this, our second Charger heat race of the evening. Paul Francis, Pamela Feder, Dan Baldwin, Larry Artman, and John Banks. That's how they stack up, the top 5 right now in this one, Jack.
Feder goes a little bit wide in turn number 2, but she brings it back down, and we've got a battle between Artman and Baldwin for that 3rd position as they're side by side, headed into 3 and out of 4. And they've got company behind him, and Banks looks like he's having some problems. Ooh.
Same identical spot to where he had a miscue the last go-round, only that one wasn't quite so costly as this one. This one's going to cost him a lot of ground.
That it is.
Heard an ESPN announcer this week describe an action on a track somewhere in the Midwest as wasn't that squirrely. So it does happen. I don't know what brought that up, but at any rate, what has brought Paul Francis up is some early on aggressive driving. And he's in the lead, continuing to hold that lead here. Boy, they get awfully wobbly up there in turn 1, but look at Tony Izzo. He says, hey, while you guys are doing your little fish fry up there in the center of the track, I'm going to slide by on the low side. Sure enough, he has, vaulting himself right into 4th place in this one. He, you will recall, started dead last in this one. That guy right there, 0-2, closing it off now. Tony Izzo up to 3rd place behind your leaders, Paul Francis in 84 and Pam Feder in number 18. Izzo given the chase now coming out of turn 2, but we've got one lost up there on the far side of turn 1, and that has brought the yellow flag to George Camp's hand. Whether he waves it or not, well, he's not going to get it this time around, so we'll do one more, and the yellow comes out just in time to let these guys know that we've got a problem up in turn 1. Far reaches of turn 1, so this will bunch him up with Paul Francis still in the lead in 84, followed by number 18 Pamela Feder, then that 0-2 machine of Tony Izzo closing it off from the back of the pack in this one. Larry Artman in number 99 in 4th place, and Gordon Langston has now punched that number 46 machine into 5th place, just ahead of Bill Harless in 62.
John Banks is in the infield, Tom, at the back end of the racetrack over there by turn number 3. So it looks like John's going to be out of this one. Barry McMurray is bringing up the field in last position right now. Barry's still very much in this one.
So we'll see how quickly they get all cooking here and ready to go. We would beg your indulgence, folks. We know we're packed tonight, but no climbing, please, on those 4-foot chain link fences.
And we need you to stay off of there because it is very dangerous, people hanging on those fences. So if you'd stay off the front fence, we'd sure appreciate it.
If you got any more vacancies in the grandstands and can point it out to some of these last-minute arrivals looking for a seat, we would appreciate your help. As Jack mentioned earlier, there is a little perimeter up there around Smiley Hill where you might find some accommodation. Otherwise, just look for a crook or a nanny someplace and squeeze into it and enjoy tonight's racing. Certainly got the weather for it. Got to thank the old Lady Nature for helping us out once again. A great looking evening. Dan Baldwin on the fish hook out there, the T-Bird, about to make its exodus from the racing facility.
Good looking Thunderbird too. That car was sitting in a empty lot for quite a while, and they thought they'd get it back racing. It was set up years ago for racing, and they thought, well, let's race it again. I'd like to have it. That thing's a relic, Tom. Car number 95.
Almost like me, huh?
Almost.
I remember when that car was brand new.
So do I.
Sad, isn't it? Somebody just last week said, well, aren't they too nice to make into race cars? Reference to Thunderbirds. Not at all. That one and Chuck Boslin's number 90 patriotically painted one. He ever misplaces that, it's going to be missing permanent.
That's for sure. Gary Groh, please go to the office. Gary Groh, go to the office. We have an emergency for you.
Let's see if we don't have green once again. Yes, we do. We're off and running, and Francis and Fetter will battle it out for the lead in the restart of this one. Francis will enjoy it most. Up into turn one in the lead, and Tony Izzo making an early move here. He takes Fetter up on the outside, passes her up, takes over second place, knocking her silly and into third place and into a whole mass of traffic back there in turn two. Pardon my chuckling, but it was a little Keystone Coppish there for a while, and if they all get moving under their own power, then I will no longer apologize for the chuckle, but wouldn't you know it? The yellow has come out, 5 laps gone, and maybe at that we wouldn't have had to have, but you never know, and it's always better to be on the safe side. At least the good news here is they all are moving under their power. So we should be resuming very, very shortly.
Pam made a quick move at the green flag and tried to overtake Francis, but she just couldn't get up under him on the inside. And Izzo really putting on a charge tonight. Tom, he's fairly new to Raven Raceway and looking better and better each time he comes out.
Next time around here, Jack, he's coming into turn 3 now. That's the machine of Gordon Langston. I want you to check out the passenger side of 46 here as he clears turn 4. Look at this passenger side of Langston's machine.
Oh,
Tell
my
me,
goodness.
He wasn't involved in that fracas back there in turn 2, but red hot. He's got some new air conditioning ducts on that machine.
I like your description of it. Looked like the Keystone Cops on the other side of the
It was
racetrack.
bizarre. It just kept screwing up, no matter what. It looked like they were on a big patch of ice there for a while.
And Pam was right in the middle of the thick of things.
Tony Izzo, that 02 machine, started dead last, recall, and now, as we prepare to restart this one, well, he's got himself in second place, and it's going to be interesting to see what his strategy is as we pull the yellow and drop the green and go back to racing here. Paul Francis has enjoyed a goodly share of the lead in this, your Charger second heat race of the evening. Tony Izzo, the come from behind award so far. He came from dead last in this pack up to where he's currently sitting, and look at Langston's machine. Oh, they're going to have a good 2 or 3 nights of working on that one to get the sheet metal pumped out so as they can bring it racing next time around. I guess they've got 2 weeks to get ready this time too. USAC Midgets, winged super modifieds, 1 week from tonight here at Raven Raceway.
Along with the Bar Wars will be out here. That will be fun. So plan to be out here and plan for a green flag right now because George has got it in his hand.
Francis gets the early jump, and Izzo doesn't seem to have the power just there, or maybe he's going to play kind of a fox role here and lie back into second place for a moment or two. Yellow flag brought out once again because of, I think, a change that is necessitated in the position of the drivers. A Texas start for Pamela Fetter,
Which means a jump start.
Noticed by one of our trackside officials, known as what? Jump start?
Jump start. She jumped the gun a little bit, or the flag, or whatever.
Funny you would mention jump start.
Did you need a jump this week?
I've needed a jump every morning this week.
Battery problems?
No cables needed, no dead battery. None of that was necessary. Just jump start my heart.
Oh, your heart. Okay. Well, they're lined back into the proper positions once again. Let's see if we'll go green this time without a Texas start.
Well, you've got the green portion, and Paul Francis is into it pretty good once again. Todd Izzo, just like last time around, or Tony Izzo, I should say, seeming happy to drop off currently into that second place and maybe kind of wait to see what happens up front of him, waiting on opportunity. Izzo has come all the way from dead last to running second in this one as they come into turn 3. He is right on the inside rear heel of your leader, Paul Francis. Francis has been looking pretty doggone good in that 84 machine. Like it's not only in strong shape tonight, but hanging together real good. Bill Harless has punched the 62 machine up into third place now. Larry Artman is running fourth in the 99 car with the white flag. About to drop for a new leader in this one, that being Tony Izzo in the 02 car. So he has come full cycle in this one, Jack.
All the way from the rear, Tom.
All the way through the traffic, and I have to wonder if it wasn't just super planning on his part, that restart time, to not jump right into the lead, but maybe to sit back there like he didn't have the power to catch up. Obviously he did, and then some. The checkered flag flying for Tony Izzo in 02. What a race for him, winning over Paul Francis, who led for a goodly portion of this one. But in the end, Tony Izzo in victory lane in 02.
Well, just the way it came across is the way they finished, folks. Tony Izzo winning it, as Tom said. Paul Francis in 84 wound up in second place. Bill Harless in car number 62, and the reason he calls it car 62, he's 62 years of age, our oldest driver in the Charger division. Larry Artman in 99 came in fourth, Pamela Fetter fifth, and Barry McMurray in 81 in sixth place. Green.
Dana Fight, the early casualty here, as you saw, getting the toe boost into the pit field area, so he is already out of the field. The green flag is ready, and now it flies for the NASCAR Winston late modelers, and Robert Townsend off of the pole position takes the early ride into the lead up by turn number 1. And boy, are they giving good chase after that. Chuck Boslin right in the middle of the track and leading a whole bunch of them down the back chute. Some surging going on back there. Looks like Lou Melendrone a little higher than he would like to be up in turn 3, but that's Carl Moltner Jr. tagging along behind your early on leader, Robert Townsend, up front in that 98 machine. Moltner Jr. trying to close things off as best he can now. Chuck Boslin looking like maybe he's still trying to find the perfect groove for that Thunderbird. Townsend continues to work way in the lead on Carl Moltner Jr. with Royal Jones in third place in that 131 machine, and now Boslin has it along to fourth place, but he's got a lot of company running red hot on his tail, so let's see. Townsend flashing by in your lead still with Moltner in second place, then Jones, followed by Chuck Boslin, that T-Bird number 90. Good looking car coming out of turn 2 and leading the whole parade of them as we head into lap number 4 of this 15-lapper late model semi-main event. There's been a change up near the top. Jones is now driven into second place, displacing Carl Moltner Jr. Moltner Jr. seems to be dropping off rather rapidly, while Jones looks awfully hot and like he might be able to close up on Robert Townsend. Let's see, Townsend with about a car length lead right now on Royal Jones. So Jones is trying to dial him in, coming out of turn 1, now out of turn 2 down the back chute. Jones taking just a little bit higher road, making that surge point once again back there in turn 3, and now taking it low coming out of turn 4. Townsend still looking fairly comfortable, though, up in the center groove of this track and in the lead. As we lose one back in turn 3, it looks like it has just lost power and pooped out. So out will come the yellow, and this will be bunching him up with Scott Hilger in some sort of difficulty up in turn 4 in that number 15 machine. And what a shame, having come all the way over from Las Cruces tonight to perhaps, potentially, find yourself having been made a spectator this early on in the race.
He was holding on to fourth position at the time he went out, Tom. It looked like his engine just died. We also have another car, car number 12, stalled over there at turn number 2. That's Mike Mentzner, and Gary's Towing's out there to give him a hand. I believe he's got a flat tire. Yep, looks like it. Left front on car number 12 looks awfully flat out there, unless it's my mistake on tires are awful low. Well, he has a problem. Well, they've got number 15 Carr back started again, and he's going to be back in this one. He'll trail the field once the green flag comes out. Once you spin out, you've got to go to the rear of the pack. So the hook is going to go on that car number 12. And they'll be taking him into the pits. He looks like he's out of this semi-main event, Tom.
Tough news for both he and Dana Fight. Dana not even getting to start in this one after posting. Not being able to run, heading into the pit field long about the time this one started. And now we add one or two more names to that list. But I'll tell you what, Townsend has looked awfully strong so far in the lead in this one.
That he has. That he has. Speaking of strong, folks, we still have him coming in. If he could slide over some and point out a seat for these latecomers, we really would appreciate it. Doesn't look like too much room left on Stomper Hill, but there are still a few seats at the north end of the racetrack at what we call Stomper Hill.
And plenty of hot fudge fondue to go with your perfect evening of racing and racing weather here at Raven tonight. Mark Brassfield down in our concession area says come on down and get them while they're hot fudge hot. I said last week, I sat here eating one and describing it and talked about whipped cream that actually didn't exist. Only in my dreams.
It sounded good, though.
It sure did. Bananas and pineapple and strawberry and moist, damp cake.
Damp.
Plenty of sauce. It is delicious. It's the hot fudge fondue.
$1 and a quarter.
Or as Linda Matus likes to call them, what does she like to call them? Hot fudge fondles.
Fondles.
What a lady. Well, what a.
What a. Well, here they come off of turn number 4, and George Camp puts him on the green once again as Townsend leads him down the front straightaway.
And look at Royal Jones continue to push it in that 131 machine, trying to close off Townsend. He's been unable so far to get the job done, and yet you have to wonder if one of these cranks around here, opportunity is not going to present itself. We have reached the midway point in this one, ladies and gentlemen, halfway with Robert Townsend looking still very strong up front. And Royal Jones giving some real good chase, and can he make it pay off now, taking the short road coming out of turn 2, almost for Jones, but almost doesn't cut it in this sport. And he continues to run along in second place. That's how they'll line up as they power their way down out of turn 4. Those two in a race by themselves. Jack Ickes is now leading a group of 3 cars running along for 3rd place.
And Ken McCleskey looking real good, Tom, as he puts on a charge and overtakes Carl Moltner Jr. And Ken's looking to take over Jack Ickes right now.
And now Townsend is beginning to open it up once again on Royal Jones. Just when Jones was able to close it down, and now Jack Ickes even looks as though he could be still within a very reasonable striking distance. Let's see if he's able to close it up any on those 2 lead cars as they continue to battle one another. 10 laps gone in this one. We're 2/3 of the way through, and Robert Townsend continues to stand on it and also continues to run in the lead on Royal Jones and Jack Ickes. And you're right, that is a good show being put on by Ken McCleskey tonight in that 11T machine. Currently good for 4th place in this one, but Townsend has got that much of a lead right there on Royal Jones as they power up into turn 1 with but 4 laps remaining in this one.
And McCleskey is hanging tight on Jack Ickes' rear right now, and he's going to put a challenge on him within the next lap or 2. You can be sure of that. Lap number 12.
Scott Hilger still cooking in that number 15 machine after experiencing some temporary difficulty earlier on.
And look at the battle we've got going on for 1st place right now, Tom, as Royal Jones put a move on Townsend but couldn't get up under him, but he's going to try it again, maybe on the outside this time.
That's happened several times in just the last few laps. He is able to punch right up and ride with Townsend briefly and then fall off.
We've got a hood up. It looks like it's on the car number 90. And his hood's up in front of him, and how he can see, I don't know. That's Chuck Boslin in the car number 90.
I imagine by this point in the season you got a pretty good feel for it, and even if you can't see everything out there just like you would like to, I imagine he's going to be able to do a pretty clean job, even with that distraction flapping up in front of his windshield.
Oh, look at this as they head into turn number 3 and 4. And Royal Jones bumps him a little bit. He's going to try to take him on the inside as they come down the front straightaway, but it doesn't look like he's going to catch it. As Robert Townsend takes the checkered flag, Royal Jones winds up in second. And Jack Ickes in that car number J7 wound up in third place. McCleskey putting on a good charge in that car number 11, but couldn't get up toward the front as Townsend wins another one, the car number 98. Good job, Robert Townsend. Let's give him a good hand, folks. Robert Townsend in car number 98. Well, it looked like McCleskey unofficially came in third on that one.
In the 11T machine from Tucson.
And Ickes wound up in fourth place on that last lap. We were watching the leaders up here, but four.
David Nectula will have the 65 machine sitting on the outside of row 4, and Michael Long brings up the rear of the pack as we've got the green flag once again. And your third heat race for NASCAR Chargers on the Vicki Lynne Memorial Saturday night at Raven Raceway is off and running, and Brad Marble will punch that 26 machine from the outside pole into the early on lead in this one. And look who's right behind him but Darrell Fisher in that 3 machine, who came from dead last just a couple of weeks ago out here to wind up taking a victory from dead last position. Some unbelievable driving for Darrell Fisher there, already in the lead here in this one in that 3 machine, taking it away from Brad Marble in the early on. And we have to bring out the yellow because we've got one down coming out of turn 2 back there. It looked like they all were going to be able to move under their own power, but not so. Who's that heading into the pits? Michael Long in the 07 machine, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get the glasses on him and see if we can get a precise number for you. So it is Michael Long headed down to the pit field area in this one. Darrell Fisher has come from down in the list to take the lead away from Brad Marble on this one. So it'll be Fisher and Marble, Dave from Gary's Towing in 52, and Dwight Elder in 3T when we get this one restarted after a bit of a push here for one of our downed battle wagons. Bernard McKierney in the John Hall car. He's from Tucson and getting a quick ride into the pit fields. 07 there is Michael Long's machine. He retired to the pits under this yellow, and he's back out here. There's Dave from Gary's Towing in 52. Brad Marble in 26. And that's Dwight Elder in 3T. So George Camp gets them sorted out, telling these two to hustle it up, get around. We want you to tag the field, and let's go racing. Keep it cooking here on this very special Saturday night. Only been doing it for about 38 minutes so far. So tonight's program clicking right along at a pretty unusual and good pace.
Well, your leader right now, Darrell Fisher, trying to work his way toward the front. And the officials out on the racetrack are getting them sorted out. We'll be getting back under the green flag in just a few moments. Oh, it's a complete restart. So they'll be going side by side once again. Did not complete one full lap under the green flag, the first lap that is, and that's why we are having the complete restart. So Dave, whatever his last name, from Gary's Towing, will be the pole sitter.
Green flag is in the hands of starter George Camp. He wants to go racing, teasing some of his fellow officials. We're ready to go green.
Lucky number programs. Get them while they're hot. Just a $1.50.
Dave just bought that one back from a fan so he could resell it. Can you believe that guy? He's almost as bad as Grandma. And I didn't think they could make him that bad. So bad, she's great. Darrell Fisher in that 3 machine once again powers his way into the lead. What an assertive and aggressive driver he has been over the weeks out here. He's got himself a lead. We have still unbelievably got cars coming in on Harrison Road right now. About 5, 6, 8, 9 cars stacked up heading down Harrison Road looking to get into this place tonight. Incredible.
Darrell Fisher leads him around. Brad Marble desperately trying to catch up in that 26 car. That's that 3T car, Dwight Elder, who spun out over there but got it back under control, is now back in here. Look out down the front straightaway. Oh, Tom, that was close.
Getting a little bit of a leap in his heart, no doubt there, coming out of turn 4, but able to keep it under control. Darrell Fisher, meanwhile, able to keep it in the lead in that 3 machine coming out of turn 4 right now. Your lead guy, and looking like he's going to be able to add to it ever so little each time around right now on Brad Marble in 26. Dave from Gary's Towing in 52, rounding out your top 3, and they're all pretty equally spaced out right now with then, I guess, about a 4-car race for 4th place. But Dave Necula right now in 65 and Daryl Rimmer are battling it out 0-5 for 4th best in this one. Your leaders coming by Fisher, Marble, and Dave from Gary's Towing. Michael Long diving into the inside there up into turn 1, but unable to pass those 2 cars who lie between him and contention in this one. Darrell Fisher all by himself in the 3 machine. Brad Marble there in 2nd place in 26. And Dave from Gary's Towing in 52. So far, these guys running all by themselves.
Lap number 6 coming up for your leader, Darrell Fisher, in that car number 3, right there on the front straightaway.
Oh, that could be trouble there in turn 2 if things don't get sorted out. I don't know what happened. He just kept drifting. He must have got stuck in that magnet up under the Budweiser sign, then rode the guardrail and did a little pirouette right in front of traffic coming out of turn number 2, but able to escape any of the serious stuff there. Oh, how sweet.
Very sweet.
Thank you, Vicor.
That was Dave from Gary's Towing in 52, who was holding on to 3rd place, spinning out for what apparent reason, I don't know, Tom. And then the one behind him got a little shook up and he spun out. But we'll be going back under the green as Darrell Fisher in car number 3, your current leader. 52 and 3T trying to get back in their positions, but they're going to go to the rear of the pack because he spun out. And they are not sorted out very good right now.
Look here.
Ooh.
Another hot fudge fondle.
Oh, boy. Who's that for?
That's for us.
For us? Do I have to share the same spoon?
I'm not going to use a spoon. I'm going to snort my portion.
You're going to snort it, huh? Hot fudge fondos and Raven Raceway programs.
More programs. Have we still got programs left?
We've got a few of them left.
You were kidding.
And what an article on Carl Trimmer, car number 74. So get that lucky number program. We'll be giving away some gifts at intermission time. On sale right now at the video booth in the main concession area. And while you're there, pick up a fondue. And what is a fondue? But hot chocolate? No.
Hot fudge.
Hot fudge chocolate.
Nanas,
over nanas and strawberries and
pineapple.
Moist and wet cake.
Moist and wet cake. Cake the way you like it. What a beautiful evening this one has turned out to be. Thank you once again, each and every one, for coming out and participating.
Where did we get this fondue from? Who brought this up to us?
Gina brought it up. I think Mark and she probably got a little thing going down there in the concession areas tonight, because these things, what was it, last week we had
2 for 1. 200
of them sitting down there.
Yep.
And he said push them.
We pushed them.
3 minutes later, we were pushed out of hot fudge fondles.
Fondue.
Check it out.
Fondue, not fondles.
You do it your way, I'll do it mine.
Okay.
Chick on a stick.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, how can I eat hot fudge and talk about racing at the same time? Very easy.
Listen to
Very
this.
carefully also. Don't want to get anything on my white shoes.
Here's a live commercial.
Here we go, green once again. Darrell Fisher leads him down the front straightaway as Brad Marble and the rest of them try to catch him, but Fisher looking real good out there, and he's fighting the wheel just a little bit as he head into turn 1, Tom.
Mark Kuhn is behind the wheel of that 360 machine, currently running along in third place in this one. Your third NASCAR Charger heat race of the evening with Darrell Fisher, as he is so apt to do as we roll into lap number 6. He is in the lead that much on Brad Marble there in 26, and then Mark Kuhn in the 360 machine, 07 of Michael Longs is battling along in 4th place now.
Uh-oh, we've got a tire there at turn number 4 as we'll bring out the yellow once again.
Now that should get out of there.
And that's tough luck for Dave from Gary's Towing.
Ooh, up and back down. Oh, yes.
And now Charlie is out there from KTKT, or is that Scott? Going to take a picture of the tire? No. Take a picture of that tire.
And we can caption it, looking forward to retirement.
Yep. A little tough luck for Dave from Gary's Towing. And Gary from Gary's Towing puts the hook on him. Thanks again, Gary, for all the fine towing and good work out here at Raven Raceway. I should call him Johnny on the spot.
And should you find yourself in a bad spot later on this evening, maybe having had too much to drink,
yes.
So much to drink you got no friends who are willing to take you home, just go see that man, Gary's Towing. He'll take you and your car home. Safe.
And your wife and kids and everybody else. Good man, Gary, though. All kidding aside, he's been a real asset to this racetrack this year. Well, how many laps we got down, Miss Barrel? 6 laps down.
6 gone, deuce to go. So we've got a 2-lap dash coming up for you to cap off this one. And it'll be followed by yet another Charger heat race, and then a NASCAR Winston late modeler main event.
Looking forward to that.
My favorite kind of main, I've got to admit. No offense to any of the other guys. Don't read any into it, please. Just the field of late models. Chargers are super exciting all season long. Darrell Fisher, Brad Marble, Mark Kuhn, and Michael Long. Your top 4 with David Necula in 65, rounding out the top 5 and cooking it into motion here with just 2 laps remaining. This one and one more. The white flag will come out, be flown by flagman starter George Camp. Darrell Fisher 1 lap away from putting this one in the book, and doesn't look like there's any reason to suspect that he won't be holding things together and hanging on to take the victory over Brad Marble in number 26, Mark Kuhn in 360, Michael Long in 07. That's how they continue to run along. David Necula in 65 trying to hang on with Dwight Elder trying to vie for 5th place. Fisher takes the checkered flag. Marble goes off 2nd. Mark Kuhn 3rd. Long and Elder rounding out your top 5.
So Fisher wins another one here in that car number 3. Fisher is from Tucson. Brad Marble winds up in 2nd. Kuhn in 3rd, as Tom said. Michael Long in 4th. Dwight Elder just jumped in front of David in that number 65 car, took 5th place. And David Necula in the car number 65 wound up in 6th. Tied in 59.
Don Roussard driving 63 inside the 2nd row.
Bob Miller outside 2nd row in 9T.
That's Pierre in 25 inside 3rd row.
Jerry Porter outside 3rd row, car number 92.
Marvin Catlin in the 595 machine inside row 4.
Tom Campbell and Thomas Palmer in 87 and 21 bring up the field.
We've got the green flag, Jack off and running in 80. Carmen Griffin looks like he's going to be able to poke it into the lead here in the early on, but he's got company, red hot company, running along right behind him in the form of Bob Miller in the 9T car. So this one could be interesting. They stack up now after those lead 2. Pierre taking a little bit of a lower track and running along in about 6th place in the early on here. He is one of those drivers we have progressively watched week after week get better and better and better and more competitive. Don Broussard in 63. In third place, Tom Campbell in fourth, and Willie Russell rounding out your top 5 here in the early on of your fourth now NASCAR Charger heat race of the evening.
And Willie Russell was smoking an awful lot. Uh-oh, we've got a tire off at turn number 4 down by Stomper Hill. Look out as the yellow flag comes out. Boy, that tire just flew up against that wall.
Coming off of Bob Miller's machine, too, and what inopportune timing, to say the least.
Second place or second position at the time that tire came off. A little tough luck for Bob Miller in 9T.
So a strange, rakish appearance to the 9T machine of Bob Miller here, having left one of its components up in the turn 4 area. So we'll be getting a hook for him coming in now in the form of Gary's Towing. They've been kept fairly busy this evening.
They've been kept real busy.
Keep them out of trouble.
That's right. That's what we do up here. Stay busy. We don't have time to get in trouble, although we do get in trouble. So to get us out of trouble, pick up that lucky number program right now for just $1.50.
That's right. Dave, don't let Jack or I go home until those are all gone.
No, he said he's going to take all the rest of them that he has left over out of our paychecks this week.
Well, that $1.50 won't last long.
Nope. That it won't.
Well, seriously, you do still have time to get your program and your lucky program number now. Program video booth is where you do it. That's also where you pick up your prizes later on if we call out your lucky number. We have got from the folks who are Fralix, did you see?
Yes, we've got some more of those cushions.
Yellow, orange, red, some other multicolored cushions in there. Boy, are they comfortable, convenient, and handy. Got their own little handle on them. They're light, and yet they're like 4 or 5 inches thick. Boy, just park that sucker on one of our fine seats out here and sit down in total comfort. We will be distributing those sometime during our intermission this evening. And don't forget, too, if you have not already gotten your raffle ticket with the We the People at the right rear of the grandstands at the table area, see Judy Montcalm, president of that group, We the People, and her friends, and some fine folks they are. Check it out now. Get your raffle ticket and get ready for the big auction coming up at intermission interrogatory time tonight. We got so stacked up we had to back off of that wheel roll, huh?
Yep.
That's a shame.
Yeah, we'll catch it in a couple weeks.
But we'll do that one later on. You've got a Bar Wars coming up. We've got another celebrity race coming up. That'll be on number 10 in October. Dwarfs are out here, if not before, on the 17th of October.
We've got the mini stocks back out here next week. And we've got a mini stock on display right now in the main concession area.
Green flag time again, and here we go. George Camp says, let's go racing, and so we shall. With Carmen Griffin. Punch number 80 once again out and into the lead here by turn number 1. Lap number 2 in an 8-lap. Heat number 4 for the NASCAR Chargers for you here.
Uh-oh. Pierre hit the wall real solid at the back end of the racetrack over there, just beyond turn number 2. Let's see if he's okay. He's moving around in that car.
Pierre getting a pretty good jolt up there when buying the wall in that turn 2 area. Been a tricky turn all season long.
That it has.
3 has had its moments too.
Yeah, a few of the fellas have hit that wall at turn number 3. Are you talking about me?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? Never hear Tom say huh until he talks about me, and I catch him.
Oh, just teasing.
I know.
My goodness.
I know. We're going to get you in a car next year.
We used to call him 2-lap back Jack. And then after we actually got to see him race out here one night, I think it was that man right there, George Camp, dubbed him Jack in the Wall.
Jack in the Wall, huh? You guys don't remember the night I won the big race here, do you?
Did you win a race out here?
I won the first celebrity race out here. Beat Bob Allen from KC and Robin Conwell.
Well, they were just sticking the muds that night.
Chuck Clark. I beat them all. Won that traveling trophy.
Where is that track?
see, play the straight man now, and then see what happens to you. It's over at KTKT.
What's it doing over there?
Some guy won it back.
Oh, the breaststroke.
It's coming back here pretty soon. I'm racing that race on October 10th. I'll get it back.
More yellow balloons tailing out of here. Wonder if any of those had little cornerstone-type messages planted in the insides to be found in Toronto, Canada tomorrow
that
or the next
reminds
day.
you, we get a break. I'll tell you a real interesting story about one of those balloons. Well, we got a break right now. My sister in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, was out on her boat and found one of these balloons with a message in it. Okay?
Not one of these balloons.
Well, not one of these balloons, but
Hasn't had time to get there.
it was from a school class that let them off and seen how far it went. Well, it came up from about 70 miles south of them. Well, they just happened to be going to Tahiti on their vacation that week, and inside the balloon it said, if you find this balloon, please write us and tell us where it came from. So they took the balloon down to Tahiti and sent that poor kid that letter saying that they found this balloon in Tahiti. Can you imagine that?
I want to go to Tahiti and research that story for its veracity.
You don't believe that, huh? I've got a pair of boots up here. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to wear them.
Speaking of boots, we got a pair of boots, $600 worth, from Gerald Johns' The Bootery. And that's involved in the We the People auction, the raffle tonight.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Can you imagine $600 pair of cowboy boots?
Got to be a fine-looking pair.
Ride a tall horse. Here we go again, under the green, and Carmen Griffith. Haven't we been here before? With Don Roussard in that 63 machine in second place as we resume Charger Heat Race number 4 here this evening. George Camp eyeing some of the slower stuff here up in turn 2. Always on the vigil to bring out that yellow to keep it as safe a running as possible. But right now it's Carmen Griffith having it all his way at the front of the pack. Marvin Catlin in the Fashions 5 car has pulled up right behind Roussard now in 63. And I think Catlin's got some designs on making the move down the back chute. He's in second place now. Got the leader in his gun sights, and he's going to try to close up as they themselves come up on some slower traffic here in the grandstand area. But that traffic is now making its way out of here. And Catlin says, okay, I'm in second place now. I'm going to find the groove here and see if I can't nibble away at Carmen Griffith before these 8 laps expire.
Catlin looking real good. Does he have time, though, to catch up to Griffin? Because Griffin's not looking too shabby out there in that car number 80, John.
Catlin, another one of those assertive, aggressive types who week after week has shown vast improvement. Kind you like to keep an eye on as the season progresses. We're into lap 5.
And he's starting to close it up just a little bit on that last lap.
Starting right here.
Let's see
lap
if he
number
can
5.
Catch him right now.
So he's got this one, 6, 7, and 8 to try to get it closed up. Can he get the job done? Those two, Catlin and Griffith, begin to pull away from the rest of the field now.
I think Willie Russell needs a valve job on that car number 59 because he's really starting to smoke up a storm when he comes out of turn number 4.
Well, there they are, about 6, 7 car lengths difference between Griffith and Catlin. Catlin trying to close it up, running along about the distance of 2 big corporate billboards, separating them as the white flag comes out for Carmen Griffith in the 80 racer with Marvin Catlin right there trying to close it up in the Fashions 595.
I don't think he can catch him, Tom.
Doesn't look like it. I think he's going to make it kind of a close second place finish here, but as far as getting into contention with Griffith for that top El Primo position, it's not going to happen. The checkered flag flies for Carmen Griffith with Marvin Catlin giving it all he could in chase to wind up about 3 laps, 3 car lengths rather shy at the end.
Perhaps if we had 2 or 3 more laps, Catlin might have caught him, but as you've seen, just didn't have enough time. Laps ran out, and Carmen Griffith in the car number 80 wins it. Catlin in second place. Ron in number 63, Ron Roussard, finished 3rd. Willie Russell 59 fourth, Jerry Porter fifth. Let's give him a good hand, folks. The winner of this one, Carmen Griffin. Row number 7 is Leroy Johnson in the car number 28. Bob Miller in the car number 9T from Thatcher, Arizona.
Darrell Rimmer in 05 and John Banks in 49 will be the next row, followed by Mike Meyer, Deal Mulford, Bernard Kearney. We also have Haas Tillis and Greg Hostin to round out the field here for you in our consolation Charger 12-lap affair with Pamela Fetter piloting that blue number 18 from the outside pole and into the early on lead in this one, Jack, taking over that lead from Tom Lanny, who came off of the pole. We've got a wild and woolly one up in turn 2 and looked like it could have grown a lot worse real quick. But given all that was going on up there.
And we've got our first rollover in the NASCAR Charger division, completely over and back on his wheels there at turn number 2, and we haven't had that all year long, Tom.
Ooh-wee. I would want a special T-shirt to designate and put that down as a permanent memory.
That's the first time a car has rolled over here at Raven Raceway in the NASCAR Charger division. Looks like car number 766, if I'm correct. We'll let you know if he's okay just as soon as we find out, folks.
So that'll send Bob McKinley scampering down the ladder to try to coordinate the trackside officials' efforts with regard to getting these guys sorted out and back into some semblance of order here. As soon as we've got word on the well-being of our driver, who is the first to flip in the NASCAR Charger division up there in turn 2 to roll over tonight, we'll pass that information along to you.
Well, that's Don Hall in 766, folks. Let's let him hear it. He's okay. Don Hall in 766. Whew. I seen him, Tom, as he was coming down. I wasn't even sure if he rolled over, but the officials caught it, and he just flipped completely over and back on his wheels. So,
greasy side up for just a moment. What a description.
I'll tell you what, he really smashed that baby up front especially. My fondue is gone. One of the girls up in the press box has ate my fondue.
Sounds pretty salacious to me.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, my goodness. From the mouths of babes. And he tried to make it sound like a complaint, didn't he? So Bob McKinley getting his exercise now, relaying information along to the drivers who do remain in the field here. We see attrition taking its toll at the front of Gary's tow truck, getting one pushed out of here. But the good news is that Tucson Don Hall is okay after rolling over in his little Charger machine up there in turn 2. That's going to be a T-shirt of the future. I can see it now.
And Don's sponsored by Body Parts Store of Arizona and Frame and Axle. Don Hall. Don's going to have to haul that one home tonight.
Wind has really kicked up now and blowing in from a most unusual perspective for us out here in this corner of the town. It's coming in from directly behind the grandstands area.
So after this one, the first late model main will be coming your way. The NASCAR Winston late models. And this will be a complete restart because we did not complete one full lap under the green flag.
So for the restart, Pamela Fetter will attempt once again to do what she did in the initial start on this one, and that is power it off of that outside pole position and into the lead by turn 1. We'll know just about a lap from now whether she's going to be able to go for that same strategy this time around or not. Lanny and Fetter in the front row, Elder and Porter in 3T and 92 in that second row, Gary Williams and Barry McMurray in 12 and 81 respectively, rounding out your 6-pack at the top of your consolation Charger event. It's a 12-lap affair. Bob McKinley regains his composure atop the flagman starter stand, and we've got the green flag prepared to fly, and it does. George Camp says, let's go racing. And so we have, once again, at Raven Raceway on a Vicki Lynne Memorial kind of a Saturday night, and Pam Fetter serves it up once again from that outside pole into the lead by turn number 1. This time it looks like a steadier and cleaner stream of traffic behind her. Got one drifting up perilously close to the guardrail out of turn 2, but able to keep it under control. And now the yellow has come out once again. But Pamela Fetter also able to snatch the lead away from Tom Lanny once again in that 47 machine, and able to do it by the time they reached up into turn number 1. And what is that stuff I see plummeting?
It's what you think it is. Let's hope it goes away.
Had a feeling when the winds became so strong that it might be dragging this along. Camp taking advantage of it, getting himself cleaned up with his bath of the week.
That's right, Camp. It's Saturday night.
Find out if Sandy Camp, who just made those new flags up there for him, used shrink retardant materials or not. So the officials busying themselves now with a plan with regard to a restart here.
So just stand by, folks. We're not going to have a rain out. Just keep calm, and we'll get this show going. This is going to blow over as George Camp looks at him out of turn number 4.
They're racing in it tonight, and why not? It couldn't be a more special evening, and once again, for a third time in this one, Pamela Fetter in number 18 from the outside pole into the lead by turn 1. But this time, Lanny's not so far behind her, and let's see if he's able to close it up any on her as we get him wild. Oh, coming out of turn 2. And it looks like they're able to keep her all under control. They get a round of applause.
Even
Thank
George
you, folks.
Camp.
Yeah.
And look at the charge going on by this car number 05 as he jumps up in front of everybody and takes advantage of that, winds up in 5th position and making a charge toward the front.
Fetter, though, continues on in the lead as she brings Lanny into turn number 3 and into 4. Lanny taking a little bit of a lower road. Looks like maybe he's going to try to vie on the inside of Pamela, but unable to get the job done. Running about a car length back, though, with Dwight Elder all alone in 3rd place in the 3T machine as your leaders, your contending field, come out of turn 2 with Pamela Fetter still in the lead. Look at that. Already the rains have lessened up. I don't think it's that we had so much rain. It was just that the wind was driving it in with such force. It seemed worse than it was. So sit tight. Enjoy it. A little wet never hurt anybody.
Well, we haven't had a gal driver win out here this year yet, not even in a heat race. So let's see if Pam Fetter in that car number 18 can hang on to the lead, Tom, as we're headed in toward lap number 4. Trap number 4.
Lap number 4, but it's about the 5th trap in this one. Look at that wind. Take care of this. What is it, an umbrella? Yes, it is. It's an umbrella that has been flaked out to look like a picnic blanket down here. Vicious, vicious wind.
We've got a car on the wall at turn number 4, and that will bring out the yellow flag.
Once again. And still in the early on of this one.
Uh-oh, and he got hit just now by that 5 car. And just pushed his back end up against his tire. Boy, did he do a job on that. And that's why George brought the yellow flag out. Chuck Campbell to the front gate. Chuck Campbell to the front gate, please. Boy, oh boy.
81 has retired to the pits now. Barry McMurray heading off to find a little relief in there. Hopefully he'll be able to find it quickly and get it turned around. The 90 car up in turn 4 is actually able to move under his own power, or so it appeared. Maybe he was just able to get some roll off down from the guardrail area. Mike Meyer up there, another of our Tucson contingent of NASCAR Charger drivers.
Well, Mike sure got smacked after he was stopped, and that was a good job by George Camp, being very alert, bringing out that yellow flag right away, but it was just a little bit too late for one of the drivers who did not see Mike over in that corner. Matter of fact, it was 05 who brushed him, the Darrell Rimmer in 05.
And he's out of here for some rough driving. The officials, I guess, determined that he should have seen what was going on up in turn 4 and avoided that brush with the down driver. So a rough driving call, and 05 takes an early hike in this one. Now it's just kind of a sprinkle.
We're in good shape.
May go out and enjoy it.
So Pamela Fetter still leads this one with Tom Lanny in that car number 47. And Pamela sponsored by Oweco Welding, Capital Pontiac, Metro Oil Service, Astrolite Battery, Ken's Exxon, El Campo Tire, Johnny's Restaurant, Gary's Towing, Spark Cycle Supply, Offmuth Used Cars, WW Enterprises, Dealers Auto, P&J Recycling, Desert Cooling Specialties, Simon Driving Shaft, or Drive Shafts, I should say, and Machine Shop. And her hubby John drives that car number 19 in the Charger division. Well, take a look at this car number 90, folks. Let's give them a good hand as they come down the front straightaway. A valiant job of driving. That's Mike Meyer in car number 90. We'll see you back out here, Mike.
And already some of our tremendous family here in the crowds have started a hard luck fund. We've done this and seen it so often this season, but the first contributions have come up to the announce tower for our rollover fund tonight. So if you'd like to get into the fray here to help out our first NASCAR Charger rollover, come on up and contribute to it. Who was our leadoff kicker there?
From Danny Davis, $5 for $7.66. And not to put a damper on your night, folks, but Iowa 15, University of Arizona 14.
Final?
Final.
Closer than I would have thought. And that's an awfully good Iowa Hawkeye team. A lot better than number 18 in the country. So Dick Tomey and the guys off to a good start, even in a loss.
Well, Pam Fetter is going to lead him around once again, and Pam's leading him slow as Tom Lanny is right behind her. Oh, look at this, Tom. What do you think?
Green all the way.
Oh, Pam made a good surge right there at the green flag and opened it up right now. But here comes 3T Dwight Elder also making his bid for second place.
Pammy has been doing that all evening long in all the various starts we've had in this one. It's going to be interesting, though, to see if she can hang on and be our first female winner here in the 87 campaign. Looking awfully good right now, Jack.
Looking real good. If she can hold off Lanny, that's the person she has to hold off, because I don't think the rest of them's going to catch her. I'd like to see her win, Tom. We have not had a gal driver win this year yet.
This may be it if she's able to hang on. 181 with Greg Hostin at the wheel. He's a rookie driver, getting a feel for it tonight. And he'll be the next one Pamela Fetter will have to pass in the lead as she continues to stave off the likes of Tom Lanny and Dwight Elder. Elder down racing tonight out of the Safford area. So we've got him from all over these continental Arizonas. Welcome to the wild, woolly West. Pamela Fetter continuing with her lead over Tom Lanny and Dwight Elder, and now John Banks in fourth place. That's Tom Campbell there in 21T, rounding out your top 5.
Lap number 7, lap number 8 coming up as Pam heads on the inside part of the racetrack.
Barry McMurray takes number 81 for a ride to the pit field. Fetter, Lanny, Elder, and Banks. There's your top 4.
And Lanny looks like he's driving his heart out, trying to catch Pam. But Pam's holding on to a good lead right now. She's got about 5 or 6 car lengths on the second place car, Tom Lanny, as we head into lap number 9.
So she's just 3 laps away from another first here at Raven Raceway. If she can hang on and put it there, she'll be the first lady winner here in 1987. So keep your eyes on number 18, Pamela Fetter, continuing on under the green to lead Tom Lanny, Dwight Elder, John Banks, and Tom Campbell. The guys giving chase as we head into lap number 10. But can they close it up in this 12-lap consolation for your NASCAR Chargers?
Doesn't look like she's going to run into any traffic, Tom. If she can just hang on. George Camp's got that white flag in his hand, and this will be, if she holds on, the first win for any lady driver here at Raven Raceway, whether it be heat race, Charger, or Consi, whatever. Pamela Fetter gets the white flag. One more to go if she can hold on to it.
Pamela got to be feeling real good behind the wheel of that machine right now. She knows. And she's, if anything, been able to open it up on her closest competition in the form of Tom Lanny and the number 47 car. We've got one down between turns 1 and 2. But it will not affect the outcome for this young lady. Pamela Fetter, ladies and gentlemen, your first lady winner at Raven Raceway in 87. And here you were to witness it live and in person. Pamela Fetter, the Cabodo Pontiac Metro Oil, and oh my goodness, who all has she got now? Alco Welding, Astrolite Battery, Ken's Exxon, El Campo Tire, Johnny's Restaurant, Gary's Towing, Sparks Cycle Supply, Offmuth Used Autos, and there'll be a whole list of them waiting to get on now on the bandwagon of that lady right there, Pamela Fetter, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, good job, Pam.
Call her the first lady of Raven Raceway now.
See, look forward to that win all week long. As Pam Fetter in the car number 18 wins the consolation race, Tom Lanny in 47 comes in second. John Banks and that number 49 car comes in third place.
Ken McCleskey and Jack Ickes with the 12th row consisting of Carl Moltner Jr. and over from Yuma tonight, Pat Dalton in the 04 machine. So there is your entire grid for your NASCAR Winston late model main event.
And this will be our first main event. We'll have another 30-lap main event coming up for you tonight, so stick around. Bronco Billy Brandon in 55 on the outside. Paul Banghar in 71 on the inside. With Carl Trimmer on the outside of that second row, Koka. Lang, Moore, Smiley, Russell, and the rest of them. The Budweiser 4U car. Mike Hancock back out here after hitting the wall last week.
And no, that is not Armor All that you see sprayed on the side of these racers' tires. That is none other than good old 10W40. Keep them from sucking in too tight to the sheet metal of a competitor's machine and getting even ever so slightly hung up. They oil them down. So if they do grind into a neighbor, they bounce right off and keep them in that locomotion they like to think will take them to victory lane. So many minds and mentalities in the grandstand area tonight, Jack, just figuring that Carl Trimmer is probably going to be the meanest tonight of all nights with regard to catching by all of the competitors because of what emotionally is on the line here. That Spirit of Vicki Lynne car, 7-4, coming off of the outside of row 2. It's going to be interesting. And Carl, after 10 main event wins out here in '87, has gone through a period of some troubles. A flat tire left him with a hellaciously late start in our main event last week. He closed up well, but couldn't close up to wind up in victory lane. Green flag is in flagman starter George Camp's hand. He and McKinley sort him out here. A big field to start with, and it's going to come screaming at you. Any luck at all as they come off of turn 4. They look good right now, and it's pretty quiet what we're able to hear over the official trackside officials radio network. So we've got the green, ladies and gentlemen, and here they come out of 4 and at you. We're running in main event fashion. Paul Banghar on the inside pole loses it and now is involved in about a 7-car, 9-car, 12-car fracas up there in turn 1. My goodness, they turned that into a used car lot in one fell swoop. A whole bunch of them going down in that one. But luckily, pretty much for the most part, it looked like it was coming down in slow motion, so we can only hope and trust that there is not a whole lot of damage, debilitating damage, represented in that tremendous mix-up you saw up there in turn 2.
And we've got the red flag out right now as Carl Trimmer makes his way back out. Looks like he's going to wind up back in this one. That's good for him. And we'll have a complete restart on this one. Let's see who else gets back in, Tom.
Well, Carl's going to look like he was going to head for some quick help while the yellow is out, but maybe he's not going to have to after all. Probably sitting there studying the situation, listening for things, and getting a feel for it as rapidly as possible to determine just how much they do have to do. But it's nice to see them come sneaking out of there one at a time under their own power. Now Trimmer does retire it into the pit fields. So let's hope for his sake and for his followers a quick turnaround for the Blue Circle West 74 Spirit of Vicki Lynne car this night of all nights. Banghart just getting wide up there in turn 1. I don't know if he got an assist along the way, but all of a sudden it was rear end up high. He was left sideways, and Trimmer had nowhere to go but into him, although he did not hit him or tap him all that powerfully. There goes Ivan Russell in the Coors Light machine, followed by Throckmorton, thinking about heading into the pit field. So these guys will head him in there. Jack Moore now is opting for a pit field entrance as well. So these guys are going to be gambling on how much yellow they've got, how much time they've got with their crews down in the pit field to get things fixed up and out here in time to get re-cooking in this one.
Well, obviously, there's some damage on some of the automobiles, and as soon as we get a report, we'll send it your way. Looks like we're going to get a tire change on that one car right there, Tom. Who is that?
Brandon and Cocott head up the surface here in front of the grandstand area with Dwayne Lang, Mike Hancock, Terry Green, Steve McGuire, Herb Lang, and the rest of them, including Robert Townsend back there in the 98 machine.
Carl Trimmer's headed back out on the racetrack right now, car number 74.
Ron Lutz in 6 and Terry Green, I think, determining that now would be a good time to make some more final adjustments. Trimmer is back out. You see coming down the back chute now in the spirit of Vicki Lynne Carr. So whatever they've done in a quick fashion. So Trimmer comes back to a round of applause here. Gary's towing, meanwhile, gets the hook on a pair of them. Unfortunately, it looks like Marion Smiley's number 9 machine is one of them on a hook, and Paul Banghar, as well you would imagine, taking the brunt of that one up in turn 1. That's his machine on the hook there, 71, getting a lift into the infield now. We've still got 1 or 2 of them needing attention up in the turn 1 area.
Well, perhaps Smiley can get it back out here for the next main. We'll have to wait and see how much damage he'd done to that automobile. What the heck happened over in that corner, Tom?
Banghart, for whatever reason, couldn't tell whether it was on his own or if somebody gave him a little bit of a nudge, whichever you prefer, but all of a sudden, whatever happened to set it up, the rear end came awfully high up there. It was about center track, nose down toward the infield, and nowhere for the likes of Carl Trimmer to go except into the side of that machine. And you see some low right side damage as well as some front end damage on Marion Smiley's car. So they've had their fair share of hard luck work on that machine since purchasing it a couple of months ago down in the Southlands and bringing it out here to race in 87's inaugural campaign at Raven Raceway. It's typical of the business, a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys that you got to continually, or so it would seem, traverse through.
I don't know if Marion's going to make it back out here. Looks like quite a bit of damage on there. We'll just have to wait and see. Going to try to do an Indy-type pit stop on Rick Sipes' car and change that rear tire and see if we can get Rick back out into this one. We're on the red flag right now. Brandon still on the outside of the front row. Is Banghar going to be out of this one?
I would think so. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get that one repaired, so he'll be a spectator in the infield. Jack Moore there in 23T was able to make a pretty quick turnaround down in the pit field. Ivan Russel coming back out now in his Coors Light Silver Bullet number 17 special. There's Ron Lutz in the 6 machine.
Well, there's Banghart right there in the infield.
They're going to have to get him hooked out of here. They cannot leave him there, obviously. So we'll have 2, 5, 8, 10, 13, 17, 20 cars left. Apparently, attrition has accounted for 4 absences, including the Banghart machine.
So we will have a complete restart once we resume. As Bronco Billy Brandon, and looks like it's going to be Cocott moving up toward the front on the pole position. That's how they do it. Your pole sitter is eliminated. They slide the next car up.
Looks like Cocott, Brandon, Moore, Trimmer, and Lang. Rick Sipes re-enters the track now in the Budweiser 4U machine. Gary's aligns itself now on the front of Banghart's as Ivan Russel rips it around one more time. Still under the red. You see Bob McKinley bending over and shouting instructions into the helmet of Rick Sipes now. George Camp in contact with McKinley and other officials who share the announce tower with us, and also at intermittent spots around the track.